Okay, here's a question for you. Would you like to help a group of young, poor, foreign men from the third world, from difficult backgrounds, if it meant that your wife, or more likely your daughter, would be raped, or your son would be beaten, knifed, possibly killed in the street by some of these men?
3 migrants who arrived in the country illegally by small boat were yesterday convicted of repeatedly raping and assaulting a woman on Brighton Beach in a cynical, predatory and callous attack.
The reason I ask is because the government elites, the liberals and their media supporters, they say that we should accept these migrants and refugees into the West.
Are people entitled to flee Sudan and claim asylum in European countries, including the UK?
No, why wouldn't you go next door?
You don't think we have a moral responsibility as a wealthier nation to take some of these people? Not to take all of them, but to take our fair share.
That we have a moral duty to help unfortunate foreigners.
I think that this country can do more. The only way to solve this problem is by a united European response, and that means sharing responsibility.
And as Christians, we want to agree with that. We want to say, yes, we want to help people, for sure. At the very least, we know that some of these migrants and refugees will commit crimes against British people.
Murderer high on his crime, Deng Cholmajek had attacked a staff member from the asylum hotel where he was being housed. Outside he celebrated, while in the background police and paramedics rushed to help. Seemingly excited after stabbing 27-year-old Rhiannon White more than 23 times with a screwdriver. She died in hospital 3 days later, never making it home to her son.
In other Western countries, they'll commit crimes against Americans, Germans, French people, Italians. So there's a cost-benefit calculation.
We want to show them the benefits that can flow to those cities from establishing refugee resettlement programs. And the benefits are many, varied, and when you get into it, extremely obvious.
And when the government brings these people in, it's implicitly saying that it values other things more than it values the safety of its own people. It may value diversity, making Britain less British, making the West less Western.
Come to London. Sare dunya barbadi hai.
It may value cheap labor and more consumers to benefit big business. It may value more votes for left-wing parties. But the government does know that some British girls will be raped by the refugees and migrants.
The horrendous crimes themselves up and down the country, thousands of victims. I know GB News have found at least 50 towns and cities across the UK in which this abuse of predominantly very poor and working class white girls by predominantly, disproportionately, I should say, Pakistani Muslim men. And
it does know that some British people will be attacked, robbed, knifed in the street by at least a small percentage of the refugees and migrants. That's going to happen.
What they are hiding, and I think the reason they don't want this information on the number of murders, the number of foreign nationals convicted for drug importation and rape and other heinous crimes, is because it will raise some very uncomfortable questions that they are not able to answer.
And while it says that's horrible and all, it continues to bring these people in.
And another conviction of illegal immigrants for crimes against British schoolgirls. Are the authorities letting the public down?
So implicitly what it's saying is that it values other goals, diversity, cheap labor, more consumers, more votes, whatever, over the safety of British people. That's the calculation.
The scandal that has triggered outrage, anger, and very, very uncomfortable questions of accountability.
Your government does not care about your safety, or at least it cares less about your safety than it cares about these other goals.
So foreign nationals were convicted of more than a quarter of all sexual assaults on women in 2024. Afghans are around 14.5% more likely to commit sex offences than Brits.
That's true in the United States, that's true in France, in Germany, in Italy, in Spain. That's true throughout the West. The elites do not care about our safety and our well-being.